So hopefully while we relish the glorious pastimes of Lord Nityananda, um, we will feel the cooling like million moons. And with that, I will continue. So please give me your blessings, and please forgive me if I make any mistakes. Hare Krishna. So I just quickly compiled a short biography of Lord Nityananda's pastimes on this earth. And so I will quickly go through that. Lord Nityananda is, as we all know, the eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has a whitish complexion like Lord Balaram, and he also has a deep melodious voice, who is always singing the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he carries a red stick that gives benedictions for all the devotees, and it is feared by all the demons. He has the mood of an avaduta, which means completely free, and he's completely absorbed in the love of Godhead. So, performing his pastimes on this earth, he was born in Ekachakra Dham around the year 1474, and his birth site is currently commemorated by a temple called Garbhavasa, and it is visited by thousands and thousands of devotees all the time. And his father was Hadai Oja, and mother was Srimati Padma Devi, and they were very pious brahmanas. Originally, they were from Mithila, and Nityananda Prabhu was born on the auspicious 13th day of the bright fortnight, and in the month of Magha. And as a child, he loved to enact pastimes of Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. So he spent the first 12 years of his earthly life in Ekachakra Dham. Then after that, one traveling sannyasi, he was so enamored by Lord Nityananda's devotion and service, he requested his parents if Lord Nityananda can travel with the sannyasi. So that is when he left Ekachakra Dham. And Nityananda Prabhu met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 1506 when he was 32 years old, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 20 years old. And Nityananda Prabhu married Janava Devi and Vasudha, who were the two daughters of Suryadas Sharakil, and he was the brother of Gauridas Pandit, and as we know, he was one of the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the spiritual master of Shyamananda Pandit. And Nityananda Prabhu had a son whose name was Birabhadra and a daughter whose name was Ganga Devi from Vasudha Devi. And Nityananda Prabhu wound up his earthly pastimes by entering into the deity of Krishna known as Bankima Rai, which is not far from Ekachakra. So this was a very brief overview that I was able to find in such a short period of time. And next, I will just share a few quotes by Srila Prabhupada on Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And as I was searching, I found that there's so many innumerable quotes and glories of Lord Nityananda Prabhu everywhere, and they're all very, very sweet. So it was very difficult for me to um, choose one. So I'll share two that that really struck to me. So this first one is the essence of this quote is that Nityananda means eternal pleasure. So Srila Prabhupada said, the Nityananda very name suggests Nitya means eternal, Ananda means pleasure. Every one of us as living entity, we are searching after pleasure. Real pleasure is Nityananda, eternal pleasure. So anyone who has no contact with Nityananda, it is to be understood that his life is spoiled. So I just thought that this is a very, very incredible quote and instruction by Srila Prabhupada on how we um, we need to always try to connect ourselves with Lord Nityananda because he himself means eternal pleasure, and we are always seeking pleasure. So how can we get that pleasure? By serving Lord Nityananda, by trying to please him, by connecting ourselves with him. That way we will also feel real true pleasure. And how can we serve Lord Nityananda? How can we associate with him? Srila Prabhupada also answered that in this letter, where he said, so far your questions are concerned, Nityananda is the principle of the Guru. So the Gurudev is the incarnation of Nityananda. Anyone strictly following the instruction of the Guru is following Nityananda. The price one has to pay if he wants to become Krishna conscious is that he must dedicate himself to following the orders of the spiritual master, Mahat Seva. If the spiritual master is pleased with the disciple, then the blessings of Guru will be there. That is the best way to become Krishna conscious. And Krishna is non-different from Nityananda. You may pray to Lord Nityananda to help you become dedicated in the service of your Guru. Krishna consciousness cannot be achieved artificially. You should approach Nityananda Prabhu through your spiritual master. So through this letter, we can understand how we can serve Lord Nityananda, and that is by serving our own spiritual master and following his instructions, because Lord Nityananda is the original Guru. And lastly, I would like to conclude with this one bhajan, which was originally sung by Lord Nityananda, or I think it was written by Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So in this, through this bhajan, we can understand Lord Nityananda's instructions, which is Bhaja Gauranga Kaho Gauranga Laho Gaurangir Namri Je Jana Gauranga Bhaji Shihaya Mar Pranre Gauranga Boliya Dupahu Tuliya Nachiya Nachiya Beraure গৌরাঙ্গ ভজিলে গৌরাঙ্গ জপিলে হয় দুঃখের অবসান রে. So translation: chanting Gauranga, go out with your arms raised, dancing and chanting, dancing and dancing. By chanting Gauranga and worshipping him, one's miseries will end. So with that, I would like to conclude. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I am eternally grateful because I would have never done this much research on my own, but I very much enjoyed attempting to sing the glories of Lord Nityananda. And from here, I'd like to hand it over to rest of the devotees so you can enlighten me on Lord Nityananda Prabhu so we can all be benefited. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Joy.